shadows play. Legends come alive at the break of day. Footsteps echo loud, but no one's there. Bigfoot's lurking in the midnight air. Dogman howls beneath the moonlit gloom. Eyes that shine like fire in a room of doom. Poltergeist dancing, moving through the halls. Ancient secrets breaking through the walls. O.C.S.T, it's more than a name. Bigfoot and stuff, it's a whole new game. Chasing the truth in a silent night. Empowered by the mystery, fueled by the fright. Cryptids in the mind, let your wonder grow. The hidden world is ours to know. From the forest deep to the attic's dust store. O.C.S.T, we're learning to trust. Tracks in the snow where the brave won't tread. Hidden voices calling from the things we've read. The unknown sings with a haunting sound, empowering us as the tales go around. O.C.S.T, it's more than a name. Bigfoot and stuff, it's a whole new game. Chasing the truth in the silent night. Empowered by the mystery, fueled by the fight. O.C.S.T, it's more than a name. Bigfoot and stuff, it's a whole new game. Chasing the truth in the silent night. Empowered by the mystery, fueled by the fight. Fueled by the fight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to O.C.S.T.
Bigfoot and stuff.
I'm your host, Harold.
And I'm me.
Christy. Good to see everybody.
Or Jiffy Pop. Haha.
Call me butter.
But,
Well, let's see. We're going to start the day off with talking about the recent news of structure being found underneath the pyramid of Giza. Those of you that don't know, the pyramid of Giza is also the pyramid of Khufu, one of the great pharaohs of Egypt. And
I thought Kofu was a lion.
well, there's several different meanings for that.
Just kidding.
There is a city in Japan by the name of Khufu also. But let's see. Say hi to some people in the chat.
I'm sure if you drop the link, there'll be other people that join your conversations too as well.
Yeah. Sharon Guy, good to see you.
Hi, Sharon.
Arcane Paranormal,
Jesse.
Jess, good to see you. Got Abnormal Investigations,
Yeah,
Mike. Good to see you, Mike. Let's see. Got Connor Johnson's in the chat. Good to see you. See you, Jade. Yeah. Katrina.
It's Kat. It's Connor's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Hey, Kat.
Hey, Kat. Yeah. Emmy. Good to see you, Emmy. Roger Blair. Good to see you. Let's see, anybody else?
Tim Wrestler, I believe, is Tim Wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Wrestler. Yeah, good to see you, Tim. Thanks for joining us. Jim's camera at dawn. Hey, Jim. Good to see you.
Little old mountain man, how's it going?
Did you climb that mountain over there?
He was climbing, I don't know. He went like on a 7-mile hike or something. I'm like, good grief. I was like kind of jealous, Jim, because those views that you had were amazing.
I'm gonna wait and drop the link here in a little bit. First, I'm gonna get started so that everybody here understands what I'm talking about. But when it comes to the pyramids, the Great Pyramids of Giza stand as a marvel of ancient engineering. Its alignment with true north is almost perfect, boasting a deviation of less than 0.05 degrees. The kind of precision is remarkable even by today's standards, where modern technology often struggles to replicate the accuracy. So, yeah, there's nothing like the pyramids ever built. They're so accurate to just the slightest degree.
No.
Even modern marvels don't rival these things. You will probably never see anything like them in your lifetime, but if you have the chance, I would recommend going there. I haven't been there myself, but I would love to. I grew up studying ancient Egypt. I read everything I could about it. It was just something I was interested in, the mysticism of it all. I never practiced any of their beliefs or anything like that, but it's just like any other culture or religion I've read into. Just means that I have a high interest in learning history because it's part of history and it shouldn't be forgotten.
I think I failed history in high school. Because I don't remember that.
You don't remember Egyptology?
No.
No.
Nope. So I have no
It's
idea.
Okay. So
None.
you learn a little bit
This
of something.
subject is not my cup of tea.
Yeah. AI Mike says, I watched The Scorpion King.
Bully for you.
There's a little bit of truth into that. There was actually a Scorpion King. His sarcophagus has never been found, but there was a Scorpion King. Let's see. Let me go on here. This is the ancient Egyptians, without the aid of contemporary tools like compasses or GPS, managed this feat, leading many to wonder how they achieved it. Some theories suggest they used stars on the sun's position as reference points, yet the exact methods remain unknown. To this day, no one knows for sure exactly how the pyramids were built. It's all speculation. We just know they're there and they're as close to perfect as humans can get if humans build it. There's also theories out there that they were built by something other than humans, whether it's alien or giants or the Nephilim. That's yet to be proven, but it's fun to talk about. So I hope to
We're
get
all
in.
Egyptians. We all had a mummy.
We all came from somewhere. Yeah, we all have a mummy.
A mummy.
All right, let's see. The level of precision speaks to a sophisticated understanding of astronomy and geometry, a knowledge that continues to puzzle researchers and historians. Their mastery of such complex techniques hints at a civilization. I always get that mixed up. Um, far more advanced than previously believed, leaving us to question what other secrets they might have held. Okay, that leads us to um, today's subject. Um, we, most of us, some of us probably haven't heard, but most of us have heard about the recent news where um, these the incident isn't so recent. Quite a few years back, that two scientists had a satellite um, look through high resolution imaging through that satellite down to the pyramids, and they did resonation where they had ground penetrating radar that um, picked up anomalies underneath the Great Pyramid, um, and they're not for sure what is under there, but they know there's something under there because the way this imaging happens is it they use sound waves along with other resources, and when they receive those signals back, it shows the imaging um, underneath the pyramids, straight the pyramid straight down, and it's a large anomaly, which means there is something under there. Um, there have been false readings in the past, things like that, but something that large showing that there's something is more than likely it's not a false reading. But the only way they're going to find out is if they dig, and hopefully they don't dig to the point where it destroys the pyramid and things around it or underneath it, if there is anything. Um, but um, they they claim that they did um, that they had an AI take and took all the information that they had and came out with imaging. Um, the AI's artist rendering of what could be underneath, and there's at least 4 coils that this AI claims that go straight down, anywhere from a half mile to 2 miles underneath that pyramid, and supposedly has winding stairs around those coils all the way down. And then it leads to 2 separate chambers on each side. Large chambers is about as big as a football field each. Um, so, um, my personal opinion on that is um, what I've been telling everybody is I've always thought for years, for a long time, that there are obelisks buried in the sand, meaning these at least this one pyramid is a giant obelisk that's buried in the sand. So the top of it we call a pyramid. It's actually the cap of an obelisk. Now, um, it's my opinion because there's obelisks all over Egypt. There's model obelisks all over Egypt, statues everywhere that they carved. They're massive in themselves. So they range from yay tall to several 100 feet tall. And the way that the Egyptians uh, worship just about everything, they had their meaning for having those obelisks, because they had their pharaoh's names on the obelisks. Um, they had their um, gods names on the obelisks before the pharaohs started becoming gods. So every single pharaoh has an obelisk in their name, except for the ones that were wiped out, like of course Tutankhamun and several uh, female pharaohs that actually took the thrones.
Like Cleopatra.
Well, Cleopatra.
I'm teasing.
Yeah, well, you're onto something there. Cleopatra's name is on a lot of things, but it's not on an obelisk. It's it's on buildings, but it was never put on an obelisk. Of course, she wasn't a pharaoh all that long. Neither was King Tutankhamun. But
Okay, so you have two questions in here.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm stopping you. One question is from AI Mike. It says, so we know how many pyramids are there in the world? That's the first question.
how many pyramids are there in the world? I haven't counted how many pyramids there are in the world, but there's you have, of course, the Egyptian, then you have the Maya, the Aztec, the there's pyramids all throughout South America. Um, there's pyramids even in the United States that still haven't. Most of them haven't been discovered, but there are some that are off limits to us, um, that are still covered by dirt and trees, and but there's those things all over the world. Like there's even in the Mexican jungle, there's still pyramids that are covered by trees that haven't been discovered yet. Um, so if you look at the connection between all the writings on the different pyramids around the world, their gods are similar. Their their designs of the pyramids are similar. So um, at one point, there was great travel that is undocumented in modern history, um, but we all know it did happen because of the similarities between the different civilizations, and the fact that the Egyptians could travel up the Mississippi here in the United States before it was the United States. That means they had access to South America, Mexico, Central America. They had access to all that. Um, so um, the the pyramids now, some people believe that they are tombs.
That was the next question that AI Mike said.
Some people believe that they're tombs. Now, there have been tombs found around the pyramids. There hasn't really been a tomb found in a pyramid. There have been rooms that looked like they could have been burial chambers, but more recent evidence has shown that these pyramids quite possibly were actually part of a power grid. So they used water to create energy. The large rooms down into the pyramids show evidence of being filled with water, and then have shown alkaline degeneration, which means the walls are deteriorated to the point where it held the liquid. So that means that liquid that was in those rooms was energized, and the chemical makeup would change of whatever was laying in those rooms. And of course, you see the tunnels that go down into the pyramids. If I could put up the a chart to show you guys, I would, but this computer is not allowing me to do stuff like that right now. But if you look up the pyramids of Egypt, you'll see how there's water erosion in these tunnels that go from the very top. They have one or two tunnels, or even more sometimes. They have main ones, though, that they'll go all the way down to the center and then come to a center shaft, and then it'll empty into these large rooms. There have been sarcophagi in those rooms, but the sarcophagi are too large for a human body. They're way bigger than the average human body, which means quite possibly they could have held something like the batteries. Now, there have been things found that resemble batteries, man-made crude batteries, but they've been reconstructed in modern times using that time's technology, and they actually do produce electricity. So if they can mass produce things like that, and then you have the gold caps on top of the pyramids that would conduct electricity. So they were way more advanced than what modern man believes and what modern man can prove. It's just thousands and thousands of years, things deteriorate. So we may find out more, we may not. It's up to the one up above whether we know things or not fully. But
post the link. Post the link.
Yeah.
So other people can come in if they want and talk.
Yeah, I had to get the show started. Okay. I posted the link. If anybody wants to come up and join us, you're more than welcome to. And remember, you don't have to be on camera. You can shut the camera off. So if you feel like coming up and join us, there's the link. Let's see. So please help.
Because I don't know anything about this. This is not me. This is totally not me.
Well,
hey Jesse, come up here. So you have something that you know a lot about the pyramids. Come up here and talk to him. Or AI Mike, or Jim, or somebody.
Yeah. Don't have to talk about pyramids. We can talk about something else if the subject is not for you. Just come on up and talk. If you've never got on camera and talked on podcasts, now's your chance.
It's not a jammy party today. That's when we go out to the woods and have a jammy party. That's okay, Jess. I'd probably be in my jammies too. But I have to go pick up Cammy whenever she's done.
Yep.
I can't find my glasses. It's gonna be great.
They're probably in the bedroom.
We don't care.
Yeah. I'm not in my jammies.
Nobody wants to see you in your jammies.
I know. I don't even want to see myself in my jammies.
Hi, Randy.
Unless I'm wearing my Friday the 13th ones, then. Yeah.
How's it going, Randy?
Randy and Randy doing life. Good to see you. How is life treating you? Yeah, Mike says, didn't they really find a crystal skull? I've heard, I've heard differing stories on that. There, of course, the majority of people are saying that the crystal skulls are fake. But when it comes to something like that, it's like when we had the stories of the supposed alien bodies in Peru. They you get someone that says, oh yeah, they're real, but then when it comes time for someone to step forward and say, can we test it, then they get kind of wishy-washy. It's kind of like people in the Bigfoot world, in the cryptid world. Somebody will claim that they found a Bigfoot and that they have the body, and then when someone says, well, okay, let's see the body, then they're like, oh well, I buried it back here, and I don't know exactly where. You have things like that happen. I'm not saying that the crystal skulls are fake. I wouldn't doubt that they're real. I wouldn't doubt that a lot of this stuff is real. It's just so many fakes in the world nowadays. It just makes it hard for people, researchers of any sort, in any line of work as a researcher. It's just you have to sort through the good and the bad, and hopefully you accidentally put some of the bad over with the good pile, because then somebody's gonna be like,
I guess you had a very interesting topic. Everybody is saying the pyramids are interesting.
Yeah.
So keep talking about them until somebody else comes up here.
Okay.
So keep going.
Like we were talking about the Pyramid of Khufu, which is the Great Pyramid of Giza. That is the most elaborate of all the pyramids, the most complete. Basically, the only thing that is missing is the gold cap and the limestone on the outer rim of it, that covers it and gives it the shimmer that is talked about. We've had like they're talking about the Sphinx, saying that the Sphinx has secret rooms. Well, we all know that the Sphinx does have secret rooms. I mean, if you watched any Egyptian documentaries, you'll see that they have shown some of the rooms in the Sphinx, but then they have areas that are now off limits. I've watched some videos where people actually snuck down into the lower part of the Sphinx and got a little ways, but then it's blocked off, of course. That's the thing about you go into a place like that. Um, there's armed guards. You really think you're gonna get away with going and finding a treasure in Egypt? No, no. It's just like going into the Grand Canyon nowadays. If you go into the Grand Canyon and they suspect that you're there to find treasure, you're gone. And
Never
you're
been there.
never allowed there again.
Never been there. One day. Hopefully.
Yeah. It's if you go onto any government property now, it's just the red tape that you have to go through is ridiculous. Let's see. I thought the Sphinx was actually altered and looked more like a lion's head at one point in history. Yeah, it was altered. Um, it was altered. It's also not the only one. There are several Sphinxes, not just in Egypt. Um, there are Sphinxes in several different cultures around the world. There are some here in the United States that people claim they're Sphinxes that are uh, weirdly similar to the Sphinx in Egypt, but the face of the Sphinx in Egypt was changed at one time. Speculation is that one of the pharaohs did not like the face that was on the Sphinx because it represented a false god and what he called a false god. And he wanted to proclaim himself God, so he had his face put on the Sphinx so that people would worship him. And then he had several different statues changed where had his face carved into it instead of leaving the originals. That happened a lot throughout the years in Egypt. You had leaders that would proclaim themselves gods. You had leaders that would even change the lineage of leadership by proclaiming that like they had Amun Ra. Amun Ra was supposedly the creator of the Egyptians, and then it changed to Ra later, and that's the lineage of Cleopatra. Um, their belief was the one god Ra, and then it changed again, and it changed again, and it changed again.
I only believe in one God, and that's God.
Yeah, well,
God.
The the history of, I don't really want to get into religion, but the history of beliefs all throughout the world, there's a lot of similarities. The one
Sorry.
I don't want to say religion. The one culture that had the most diverse beliefs were the Egyptians. They at one point, they practiced black magic, of course. They believed in the dark forces. Um, they Everybody knows about the story of Moses, um, the the time of change, the time of uh, the forgotten time. There's uh, there's a battle on when exactly the Pharaoh of Moses actually existed. What time was that the parting of the sea, the Red Sea? Um, they even discuss that it wasn't the Red Sea that was parted. It was part of the Nile that was parted. Uh, you know, uh, it's just there's a lot of speculation in science because when they came up with the word theory, theory is just another word for my opinion, my speculation, um, and then you have to back it up with numbers. Uh, and they say numbers don't lie. Well, yeah, yeah, because humans aren't perfect. You can't get you can't get a perfect number out of this little noggin. Everything has to be precise. Everything has to, if you're going to come up with the actual answer, um, you're going to have variations. So you're not going to have the actual answer to anything because there's variations of everything. So, I mean, that's my opinion. It's for entertainment purposes only. All right.
Look what Jesse said.
What?
That right there.
Many of the mythological gods were all very similar, and I think they were the fallen angels posing as gods to lead people away from God. Yeah. Um, the the Anunnaki were actually responsible for the origins of a lot of the biblical stories. Um, that doesn't mean that they weren't true. It means that they've been handed down throughout the ages. Um, there's a lot of things that were left out of the Bible. If we're going to talk religion, um, a lot of things were left out of the Bible so that people would be controlled. Um, that's a whole other.
That's something we're not getting into.
But
No,
I could sit here all night and talk about it.
No,
But
no,
I'll probably get strikes.
no, no.
But yeah, the mythological gods. You have, of course, like the Anunnaki, who originated a lot of the sources of those stories. Then you have your spin-offs, which the Greek, the Roman, the Egyptians, even even a lot of the Aztec gods are similar to the Greek and the Romans. Even by names, some of them are actually similar in their actions. So, at some point, when the lands were connected, uh, there had to be some kind of trade established um, for these things to um, evolve. the way they did. Uh, they had to have been connected by land at some point, and at every point of the earth. That's why they call it the original land was Pangea. It was all connected. Well, when those separated, um, just like in any indigenous um, tribe, you have stories that are handed down throughout the ages. Um, in any tribe, through Europe, through the Middle East, through Asia, through the Americas, people have stories from their ancestors, and those stories seem similar because at one point those stories were the same. At one point, it's just you tell a story to someone, then they tell it, and they tell it, and they tell it, and every single time it gets a little different. Well, that's the way it is through history, and then they chisel it in stone, um, or painted it on the rocks, their version of the stories. So there, it's my opinion that yeah, there were creatures on the earth that proclaim themselves as gods. If man can do it, why couldn't the other creatures? Um, you know, it's just man doesn't have the power that those other creatures had, um, because those other creatures, um, again, we're talking a little bit about religion, but before the floods, um, God says that there were giants upon the earth, giants and monsters upon the earth, because um, he then proclaims that one day they will return. Well, what do we have nowadays? We have Bigfoot, we have Dogman, uh, we have Loch Ness, um, you name it. Um, it's like even people, there's even people out there that believe that dinosaurs uh, were dragons, which is quite possible, but we haven't unearthed a dragon skeleton yet. Uh, you know, the only dinosaur that we've unearthed with wings is a pterodactyl. So wings that could actually fly, and then of course you have your prehistoric ostrich. You know, but um, that doesn't mean that things like that didn't exist, because um, you have the stories in the Bible of the giants existing. Uh, you have the Anunnaki talk about giants. You have that they proclaim that they were gods. You know, and then of course, man started out in different groups. There were different types of humanoids. So you had the Neanderthal. You had um, all different types of primates that led to us being brought into existence. Um, and then you want to talk about evolution. Evolution is really a bunch of farce, except for the fact that, yes, everything does evolve to adapt to their climates over several centuries. But we didn't come from a monkey. We are a primate, but we didn't come from a monkey. That's my opinion. Um, you know, but uh, did we come from something that created us on another planet? Are we the aliens? Who knows? But yeah, um, if we came from monkeys, we'd still be able to climb trees like a monkey. We'd still be able to hear certain sounds that monkeys can make that we can't hear. You want to talk about evolution? Yeah, evolution would not take away. What? Speak for yourself, monkey boy. I do like to climb trees, but I don't.
No, not talking about you. I'm talking about AI Mike. If there was evolution, why would we still have monkeys like Jess's? And that's what you said talking about.
Okay. Yeah, I got carried away in my rant, but yeah.
You think? I'm just reading chat and laughing.
Yeah. I don't get a strike for this, but there's those people out there that believe that Jesus was a white man.
Don't.
Sorry, Jesus came from the Middle East.
Okay, no.
Don't. You want to talk about?
Don't.
No, I'm getting into this. Evolution consists of every single creature on the face of the earth. Some of them don't exist anymore. Some of them still exist but are in hiding. Some of us won't exist in the future. And a lot of that is because of hatred in the world between different species, because of jealousy, because of patriarchy, because of just outright evils in the world. The Egyptians, going back to the Egyptians were known to be somewhat, the ancient Egyptians, now I'm talking about, were known to be somewhat ruthless, didn't care about other cultures, so to speak. But as long as they got their goods, they got along with other cultures. Now, the one that changed all that, of course, was Cleopatra. Cleopatra was more of a compassionate pharaoh. She was still greedy. She was still selfish, and the reason for Egypt's downfall was the Egyptians trusted Cleopatra too much, and everybody wonders why Cleopatra's body cannot be found. She's in Egypt somewhere. Maybe this new structure underneath the pyramid will lead to something like that. But there are all kinds of pharaohs that still haven't been found. Or they have been found, but they'll never be recognized because they were buried with the commoners. just so that they wouldn't have their bodies desecrated. Um, but um, yeah, I need to get off that subject now. Yeah, Emmy says she believes in creation, not evolution. Well, Emmy, evolution and creation, um, it's a mixture of the two, because every creature evolves, not to the point where we come slithering out of the water and then grow legs. It's not that. That's not the kind of evolution I'm talking about. The evolution I'm talking about is uh, we started out as several different groups of primates, humanoids, and the evolutionary process I'm talking about is through birth, the the mating of the different species of humanoids coming together to create us, to where it came down to us and the Neanderthal to decide who was the dominant species of humanoid on the earth. And humans, of course, came out on top. Now, creation, yes, we all came from uh, Adam and Eve, but Adam and Eve were not the very first humanoids on the earth. They were the first humans, but they weren't the first humanoids. So there is a little bit of creationism and evolution mixed. And if they don't teach that in churches, then they're teaching blasphemy, because um, God made all of us with the ability, all of the species of the earth, the ability to evolve, to evolve along with the planet. The planet is constantly evolving. The planet is constantly changing. So why wouldn't man change along with the earth? You know, um, at one point, we may have had scales on us. We had hair on us. We still have hair on us. But we live in today's society. We don't live in the past, and we don't live in the future. We live in today's society, and today we are what we are. But it would be nice to know what we were, and it would be nice to know what we will become. But that's not for us to figure out. The future is not for us to figure out. The future is for future generations to figure out. Are you keeping up with the chat?
Yes. Stu came in, said hi.
Yeah.
It's 3 a.m. there. Figgy just walked in. Hey, Figgy. Sharon's back. Hey, Sharon, welcome back.
They released some paperwork today alleging they found the Ark of the Covenant in the 1980s. Yeah, I've been watching that. I mean, we all know that the world's governments are involved in proclaiming all the world's treasures, including things like the Ark of the Covenant. Yeah, it's been under lock and key for a long time. Um, I believe there's truth to that, where they constantly move it, because if they don't, and the wrong person gets their hands on it, hopefully the wrong person doesn't have their hands on it now, because that would be very bad for the world. Mike, which one was hottest, Cleopatra or Nefertiti? Well, the stories proclaim that Cleopatra was the most beautiful woman.
It wasn't Mike that said that. It was AI mode.
AI mode. Well, I know. You said Mike. Which one?
Oh.
Yeah.
And he said both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were both beautiful women. I mean, they were rich, so they could afford to have the oils and the ointments and all that to keep their skin looking young and beautiful, and so and then there's all the stories of how many husbands Cleopatra had. So yeah. John says, my wife says I have monkey feet. Yeah, Sharon guy, what oils did they have? I need some. Well, they had olive oil, believe it or not, back then. Olive oil was a thing because it's one well-known fact that olives grow like crazy over there. So they had olive oil, which was used for several different things. They had all different kinds of oils. I can't name them off the top of my head, but yeah, um, olive oil has been known for millennia to be.
Did they have coconut oil?
Oh yeah, they had coconut oil. That's a common thing over there.
Maybe that's what I need. I was going to drop the link again.
Cleopatra's beauty came from her inner strength and self-assurance. Oh yeah, just like every woman out there should have the same within them. Believe in yourself, because you are your own worst critic. So you have to give yourself a pat on the back every once in a while, and then let the world know. Yeah, they have fish oil, of course.
Drop the link.
All right. Is there anybody else that wants to come up and talk? You can hit that link and come up here. You don't have to show your face. You can turn the camera off. Or you can turn the volume off and just entertain everybody with your dashing good looks. As long as you keep it clean.
Ambergo's present-day guard master of the Knights of Templar claim that there's more than one Ark of the Covenant being guarded still by the Knights of Templar. Question mark.
Yes, Cleopatra was a strong war leader as well. She was the general of her army. She was the commander. She was the pharaoh. She was the queen. She was all the above. You know, there were other countries that did not want to recognize her as a pharaoh. Even some of Egypt didn't want to recognize her as a pharaoh, so she took on Queen of the Nile. So a lot, even the Romans recognized her as Queen of the Nile. But of course, when they felt her wrath, yeah, she was a pharaoh. Then she got smart and started using economics as a way of battling her enemies, because they had the upper hand on the trade, because they had ships. So she had all the playing cards, and she was the one that dealt out those cards, and people had to give in to her demands until the Romans started conquering just about every continent. Yeah, John, you're right. There's a story that there were more likely more than one ark.
More than 2 arcs.
More, yeah, because you had the Ethiopians. The Ethiopians claimed that they had the ark. Of course, you had the Knights Templar. You had
No, arcs, meaning arcs. Noah's Ark.
Oh, okay. Well, I was talking about the Ark of the Covenant. So.
I know, but John was talking about, he just saw a story that there are more than likely 2 arcs. They say that they found one at the high point of the Himalayas, saying that all the animals couldn't have fit on one ark, meaning Noah's Ark. And then AI Mike goes, the Ark of the Covenant current location remains a mystery. With no defined proof of existence or whereabouts after disappearing around 586 BCE through the various story. I can't freaking read. Anyway.
Yeah, well, starting to get into religion, and I'm not. Oh. Sorry, everyone. It's not that I'm not religious. I just don't talk about it because, well, I'm not going to give my opinion. But
they're all theories. No one knows for sure. And that's true. That's why there's theologians and all that stuff.
I'm just one that doesn't believe in the Bible being rewritten like it has been. So,
but no, it's gray.
hair's not gray.
You want to fucking make a bet? It's turning that color anyway. Are you talking to me, Mike?
Are you in the 50s?
No. Are you in your 50s? Are you referring to me? No, I'm not.
No, I am.
No, I feel like I'm 150 though.
Yeah, I would like to go see the Ark in Kentucky. But I really like to go to Jerusalem and go find the crucifixion spot. Not where it's currently portrayed, but where the actual spot is. The actual spot is up on a hill. Outside of Jerusalem. Not in the temple. Let's see. Yeah, she does have beautiful hair. She'll tell me I'm crazy.
Certifiable.
Believe it or not, guys, at one time I had long hair. I had the long, straight Indian hair. It was kind of auburn, like brownish at one time. And then I started going bald and went, yeah.
Cammy's working over late tonight, I guess.
Yeah. And my beard used to be pretty long too.
A Harley biker?
Nope, never owned a bike. Never owned a motorized bicycle.
He'd be one of those persons with the dog in the basket pedaling its bike.
Although I do like to wear Harley Davidson stuff, so yeah. At one point, I was dressing like a biker. I never owned a bike.
When I first met him, he always wore a do-rag.
Yep.
I finally convinced him to wear a hat.
I still want to wear my do-rags, though. They're a lot more cooler than wearing a hat in the summertime. With the bell on the handlebars, yeah.
No, pink fringes.
Ching, 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 ching. Yeah. No, no pink ribbons sticking out the handlebars. Nope.
Yep. The things in the spokes.
Yeah, baseball
Pink.
card.
Pink things with the spokes and go. Yeah.
Baseball card in the spokes
Nope.
so it can go.
Oh, thanks everybody.
Y'all remember to hit that like button.
Oh, please, come on.
Is there anybody that wants to come up and
Put me out of my misery?
post that link again? Remember, you don't have to show your face. You can turn the camera off. Pink beads that go ting, ting, ting as wheels go around.
He wouldn't let me put pink in his beard at Christmas, so. And he won't let me buy him a pink tutu.
Nope.
Or won't let me paint his fingernails pink. He's just a party pooper.
She's got me thinking that she wants to dress me up like a little poodle.
That'd be fun.
No. Yeah, I know. I'm a party pooper, Jesse. I know. But I just don't wear pink. I just don't do it. And I don't wear tutus. Unless I was to have a little daughter and I was playing dress up with my little daughter, but I don't have a little daughter, never have. So I did play like that with my nieces because, you got to play dress up. You got to have tea parties.
Did you put your pinky out, Preppy?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Drink like that. Yep. And then go out and play with the boys and climb trees and get hurt. Get muddy. Yep. Those were the days. Now, if I tried to do all that, yeah. And 5 minutes later, I'd be like, oh, I got to stop. My back.
What?
What did I do with my vape?
I have no idea. Here.
Michelle says, I like bright pink and black. Reminds me of Good and Plenty.
Look.
Yeah, John says, I dressed like that after the nieces left. Uh-huh. Sure.
He goes, but you dressed like that after the niece.
Yeah, that's
left.
what I said.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Sure. Okay. I read Good and Plenty. Now I'm hungry for Good and Plenty. Jesse just says, I'm kind of strange though. I wear boots with dresses, but still Love playing in the mud. Mud trucking is the best. Yep, gotta get out there and kick up the mud a little bit.
Grace said that that's what she was thinking when Uncle John or when John said that.
Mm-hmm.
That you still wear pink. No, he don't. I'm just saying he don't. He hates the color pink.
I don't own.
His favorite color is black.
I don't own anything
red.
pink. I don't borrow anything pink.
You hear thunder, Michelle? Where exactly? Not specific location, but what state are you in?
Closest I get to wearing pink is crimson and cream. Boomer sooner.
That's not pink.
I said that's the closest to pink that I wear.
That is red.
That's the closest to
cream.
pink. That's the closest to pink that I wear. Crimson and cream.
You're in Michigan? Okay. They might have to rethink the Louisiana song if it keeps blowing like that. It would be where the wind comes sweeping down the plain in Louisiana, not Oklahoma.
There ain't nothing plain about Louisiana.
Boomers in the house. Heck yeah.
Yeah, boomer sooner. Yeah, anybody having snowstorms right now?
I know WTF Mike was left in North Dakota last night.
Michelle says no snow here, maybe up north. Grace says sirens have gone off twice already.
Where are you located today, Grace? I mean, not today, but
our storms came through last night at 3 o'clock in the morning, like they said.
4:30.
Yeah, 3, 4.
Scared the shiz out of me.
Yeah, I knew we weren't going to get them earlier in the night.
West Tennessee. Yeah, you guys were having some issues today, weren't you? Holy moly.
Mm-hmm.
I just happened to see a little bit of it.
Yeah, y'all stay safe from the storms, because.
And of course, if we're supposed to get more. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the weather today. That's for tonight. But yeah, we were safe, and I know AI Mike was safe last night. They went, where did he say, north of him or east, south of him? I can't remember what he said. Mike, did it go south of you? Oh, you're listening.
The whole
I don't remember.
The whole state got that one line we went through. It was fast and fierce. Grace says it's amping up again.
Oh, excuse me. But yeah, everybody please be safe. Be weather aware. Know where your location is on a map. If it gets to be the point where no return, I hope you have a place to go safely.
The Upper Peninsula has ice-covered trees snapping off in snow.
Yeah, I heard that the northern parts of the United States got some major snow, ice blizzard, whatever it is. So yeah.
Yep.
Know how that feels. Heck, we know how that feels in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Just not this time of year. We're normally dealing with tomatoes.
Everyone. Yep, prayers for everyone.
Saw what video of the ice breaking and stuff up north? Up north. So you got booted.
Got booted. Who booted you? YouTube.
Well, if anybody got booted, it would be us. Yeah. I did not. Don't you be telling no fibs.
Jiffy Pop didn't boot you.
I would never do that, dude. You want me to? Click. Jesse booted him.
Jesse booted him.
I don't think Jesse. Well, I don't know.
I got booted once or twice back in the early days of YouTube. Yeah. No big deal. Just come back next week.
I feel attacked in public. Assassins.
Jesse
I'd like
said
to give him a boot.
Yeah.
What, the Harley Davidson one?
Gonna give me a boot. Give me two of them. Make sure they match.
With pink fringes on them?
No. Michelle says she's watching Michigan Storm Chasers.
I was watching the Oklahoma Storm Chasers about 5:30, 6 o'clock this morning. They were tracking the storms that went east of us early this morning. I should have just stayed awake.
Mike says, I feel attacked and public assassinated.
Well, I didn't attack you, bro. You need to come up here and relieve me of my misery. Yay! Oh, it's Figgy.
Figgy.
Hey, Figgy.
Hi guys, how everybody doing?
Good.
Yeah, we're doing good. How you doing?
I'm blessed. I'm good. I'm blessed, man. I just woke up. I was exhausted.
You were exhausted?
Yeah, I've been working very hard lately on a documentary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I just finished it a couple of days ago.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But before that, I was working 12 and 14 hours to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's finally it's
people
done.
don't realize how much work it takes to do all that.
I thought I was never gonna finish.
Yeah.
It just amazing the research, because in my case I have to research what they're saying and from where they got it from.
Yep.
Because
People are wanting to know what's your documentary about.
oh yeah, let me tell you, for those who don't know, I was on vacation in 2024 in Florida with my family because I live here in Arkansas, even though that my house is in Oklahoma, in Tulsa. I get back home whenever I get there, but
Mm-hmm.
I gotta finish what I have to do here in Arkansas, and then I go back home to Tulsa.
Right.
Even though that I am from Puerto Rico, but the deal is that while I was on vacation, because my family get worried that I'm by myself here in Arkansas, so they send for me on holidays, and we do family gatherings. So that was Christmas, end of the year gathering, and
Hmm.
I went to Florida, and at nighttime on New Year, I was cleaning the garage with my cousin. He's like an older brother, and I hear this buzzing, like a zoom, 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 and I was just like trying to figure it out where the buzzing was coming from. And finally, I step outside, and when I look into the sky, there were 8 UFOs,
Yeah.
and in the coming from the north heading towards south.
Yeah.
So the deal is that I recorded, and that situation right there, it just
Oh, where do you think you told me they were even?
put me on a search of
Yeah.
Okay, hold
what
on.
is these things, what are they? Who are we? Who created us? Why are we here?
I'll be back.
And the deal is that because I questioned myself in that moment, I just could not believe it. So when people say about questioning themselves when they see BIGFOOT, I
Hmm.
believe them because I did the same.
Right.
There were 8 of them, and then the last one almost crashed against an airplane that it was taking off from the airport. The last one almost collide, and I was like, "Whoa, that this is freaking big." So it
Yeah.
sent me to that journey. It made me question everything, and because I didn't see no government chasing them like helicopter or any jets behind them.
Right.
Like, wait a second, these people just cruise all over the United States like without care, and it just really sent me, in a journey of questioning everything.
Right.
Who are we? Who are they?
So,
So, uh,
when are you planning on dropping your documentary?
well, according to what I have in my agenda, the first screening is going to be on April 16 or 14 in Puerto Rico
Oh yeah.
with my people. Yes. Then after that, I'm going to go to the Bentonville Film Festival.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then after that, well, whatever the agenda, stipulate. So
Right.
nothing marked per se. I'm gonna do this, but I got two main things that I want to do, which is Puerto Rico and Bentonville Film Festival,
Yeah.
where they have a big competition for small independent
Yeah.
filmmakers. That's
Yeah.
what I have on my agenda. After that is whatever comes my way. You know what I mean? So
Well, I hope your film has a lot of success then, because they have some pretty good films going through that film festival. You know.
Gina,
Uh,
Gina, Gina, Gina Davis, the actress,
yeah.
she is the director, and a lot of people from Hollywood come
Yeah.
to Bentonville on that week because it's a whole week of it.
Right.
Yeah, so I did it different than everybody else. You remember Buster Keaton?
Yep.
Buster Keaton in the 1920s. I love Buster Keaton. The guy was amazing.
Hmm.
He was genius. Well, I
Oh.
like his style, and nobody does movies or anything like Buster Keaton anymore. So I did my documentary like Buster Keaton.
Oh yeah. Really.
I did, and I put it on in memory of Buster Keaton, the silent movie genius. He was a genius.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That
and
that'll be very interesting to watch.
yeah, because you got your, it's not gonna be a boring researching, let's find Bigfoot with a flashlight.
Mhm.
It's not that. Nah, no, it goes deeper. It goes deeper all the way to, all the way from uh 32 AD.
Mhm.
eh, 32 AD, there was a writer in Israel. His name was Fabius Josephus, and he got some monster writings about those days. And he interviewed Mary, the mother of Jesus. He interviewed Peter. He interviewed John. He
Mhm.
interviewed James. And he interviewed the guy who sent Jesus Christ to be crucified.
Mhm.
So those writings, I use some of those writings as a foundation, and he speak about the aliens,
Oh yeah.
the UFO ships being in Jerusalem, and leaving also. And yeah, I mean, this guy, when Jesus Christ died, like
Mhm.
30 years later, he was researching and doing all of this,
Yeah.
and he's kept in the museum. His writings are kept in the museum in Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That was actually some of the first actual writings about Jesus
yeah,
at that
correct.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, Fabius Josephus was his name. And there's another one that he came with Eric, no, with Leif Erikson, the red beard guy.
Hmm.
There's another guy who wrote another book,
Yeah.
and they just released the brand new book. It's called Terra Nova, and that book speaks about the giant. It speaks about the Bigfoot, and it
Yeah.
speaks about all that happened meanwhile they were there, and the problems that they face
Yeah.
with this one tribe that is different than the Bigfoot tribe. So
Yeah.
it's very meaningful and very, very important for us, you
Yeah.
know, the one that we live in this century.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Leif Erikson has a lot, a lot to say about a lot of things, and um, a lot of people overlook Leif Erikson in his so-called adventures.
yeah,
You know that he had, the places that he went. Um, there's a lot you can read about Leif Erikson.
is that it was the son that it was called Eric, the daddy.
Yeah.
The daddy was Eric, and the son was Leaf.
Hmm.
And they were the first one to come up on the north side of the United States.
Hmm.
It's in a museum up in Greenland, Nova Scotia, if I'm not mistaken. Like, one of my cousins went to the museum,
Yeah.
and it was amazing. And there was a freight that went with them in the trip, and
Hmm.
the freight kept the diary of everything that they did, that they went and they experienced.
Right.
The writings of that phrase, they just recently got translated into English.
Yeah.
And from there, this book that I'm mentioning to you, Terra Nova, which is New Land, is about the experience of the phrase. Same with Christopher Columbus.
Hmm.
The writings of the phrase from Christopher Columbus are in Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
in the Department of Culture of Institute, is the Institute of Culture in
Hmm.
Puerto Rico, and they have the writing of Bartholomew de las Casas.
Yeah.
He was the freight that went with Christopher Columbus did the first three
Yeah.
Voyager.
Yeah.
So very, very interesting information. It speaks about everything. It talks about everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
People need to check out their um, check out all that stuff because you will learn a lot of stuff that you thought you would never know.
uh,
Um,
you
there's history that's hidden from people because people don't like to read books
yeah,
nowadays. You know.
yeah, people becoming lazy. And I was saying on my on my documentary that at least 8 to 10 civilization disappeared,
Yeah.
gone. We just find stuff that belongs to them, but we don't know what happened to them.
Right.
In those days, before the Noah's flood, a
Hmm.
lot of evilness was going on.
Yeah.
And you see, it's in Genesis 6, the Watchers,
Yep.
when they marry the daughters of men, they started having babies, and these babies were those giants. And the angels, actually, there's a couple of them that you can see them in the museum in Iraq. You can
Hmm.
see they have the wings still attached to it. And some of those angels, they became demons, and they started playing with DNA, and they started doing chimeras.
Hmm.
And the book of Enoch speaks about how demonic those things were, and because the violence and all this stuff increased, God destroyed the earth with the flood. So it,
Good night, AI mode. Tell your mom hi from O.C.S.T. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that because them being so evil, the Lord destroyed the earth. Period. And then they came back, and finally I can get to read. I cannot read the people's saying, because I'm
Hmm.
talking on the phone. But
Right.
today I have another phone, and now I can read everything. So happy with that. But let me tell you something, Harold. The
Yeah.
reason why I came to talk to you today is because I am a fan of the albino Bigfoot, and I believe one of you guys has an experience with it. It was your wife, Christy, or it was you?
Me.
It was you. Oh,
Um.
it was you. Okay, good, 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 good. Well, I'm running a petition because those albino Bigfoot, they are in extinction, and in my documentary, I'm trying to help those who cannot help themselves. Now, I know Bigfoot comes on different types. I know Bigfoot comes on type 1, type 2, 3, and 4, but
Hmm.
I'm speaking about the one that has a relationship previously established, which is the type 1, if I'm not mistaken,
Hmm.
the one that they have in Tennessee with the Green family, like the one that have with Kevin, that the Bigfoot was black. That's the type 1 that is non-violent.
Right.
And albino, to get the albino to be added into the extinction list, and to be the type 1, the patty type,
Hmm.
to provide a safe haven where they can be, and they cannot be shoot, they cannot be hunt.
Yeah.
And I started in 2019, but because I didn't have too much guidance about how to go about it, you see, now for the first time, I'm asking you and your viewers to please go to change.org
Changed
slash
up.
albino Bigfoot,
Okay.
and just read and sign the petition if you agree with what I'm saying. Is something that is done out of the kindness of our heart, because I have not that I only find out that Bigfoot is real, but also I find out that they have killing teams. You know, people go and chase them
Yeah.
and kill them just because the heck of it. You know what I mean? And I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
And
that's one thing I want everybody to know, that O.C.S.T is a no kill organization. We do
oh,
not we do not condone killing any animal out in the wild for sport. Uh, it's a different thing to kill something to defend yourself, but
that
if you're doing it for fame or for a trophy, OCST does not support that. Just thought
I
I'd let everybody know.
I agree because now there's only a couple of Bigfoot from the albino type. There's only maybe two or three left. That's it. After those dies, that's it. And whether we like it or not, those things they have human tendencies. The Bigfoot, the type one and some other ones, they
Yeah,
do have human tendencies and they communicate because I spoke with somebody that is very well known in the Bigfoot uh, community, and the guy was telling me that when he talked to a Bigfoot and he asked them about the aliens, the Bigfoot says they are evil. The
um,
aliens.
no, Jess. I fully support hunting animals for food, because we all have to eat. But uh,
Abusive, being abusive. That's
right,
what you're pretty much saying.
yeah, um,
Yeah.
yeah, Figgy. The albino one that I saw, um, he was not a type one. Um, turns out um that more than likely he was a albino Gugwe.
Oh Lord, those are evil.
Yeah, yeah. He wanted to choke me. Um,
No,
he
you
he
kidding me.
he was standing right next to me, and he kept clenching his fists and slobbering all over the place. It was the female, the Bigfoot that was standing next to him, that kept him from killing me. So, um,
Wow. Wow.
see,
So,
I originally thought it was a dog man because it had the head of a wolf, you know. But
okay.
uh, I've been I've been um, schooled by some quote
No,
unquote experts on,
knowledge of
right,
people.
and more than likely it was a Gugwe,
Wow.
not a dog man.
Wow. I have a picture of a Gouwe
Hmm.
or Ginoska, and
Hmm.
you can tell the teeth are like the shark. It has a pointy predator teeth, is what it's called. And
Yeah,
you can see it in my picture.
the weird thing about the one that was standing next to me was his fangs. He had the top fangs were like 2.5 inches long. Okay,
Oh Lord,
his canines, right? But
Jesus.
he also had all kinds of sharp teeth all the way across, right?
Okay,
All pointed and sharp. But the lower teeth, now his lower fangs were about an inch and a half tall,
taller
right?
than
Right.
the rest.
But then his teeth right here were shaped like large human teeth. So the teeth
Wow.
didn't match. So I thought, right? But I saw him close his mouth. I saw him open his mouth. I saw him, you know,
Wow.
doing like that, and everything meshed when he did that. It's
Okay.
just when he had his mouth wide open, like he dropped his jaw like way down, and that tongue just rolls out, and he's, you know, and
Wow.
and
Ha,
I'm literally standing so close to him that we touched arm hair.
wow.
Yeah. And he
Oh,
looked down at me because he's 7 feet tall, and he looks down at me and he's huffing and puffing,
yeah.
while the female Bigfoot, which looked exactly like Patty from
Okay.
the Patterson Gimlin film,
Okay.
exactly,
Wow.
except she was more copper, more of a copper brown. She just had the same look, you know. But you look in her eyes and you could see the human aspect, because she was looking at me, like she was in awe of, she's standing in front of a human, so close. And I'm looking at her the same way, like, wow,
Yeah.
and she saved my life.
Wow. Can I ask you a question? Did you did you ever told your story? Because I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
about your story.
Oh yeah.
What, what's the
I
number?
originally told my story on Squatch Topic PA. Um, I he had me do a write-in. If you look up
Okay.
Squatch Topic PA,
Okay.
he reads about it on one of his lives.
Okay. Okay.
I
A
also
second.
did a more in-depth interview with Tinfoil Tales.
Okay. Anything that I can go and see? Because I don't know
Yeah,
about
yeah,
story, Harold.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just jot down Squatch Topic PA,
Okay. Topic PA. Got it.
right, and you'll find his stuff very interesting.
What
Um,
is the other one, the second one that you
the
did?
second one is, sorry, uh, brain fart right here. Um,
That you
um,
no biggie.
Tinfoil Tales.
I
That's
got it.
tales as in story,
Got it.
right?
I got it. And this is on YouTube.
Right.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then and then there's one on Spotify.
I
Um,
don't do Spotify. But tell me anyways.
um, Look up Vic Cundiff,
Condiff?
VIC Vic Cundiff. Yeah.
I know Big Condiff. Yeah. I mean, I don't
Okay.
know him personally,
Yeah.
but
He does Spotify stories where
oh,
he interviews you over the phone and then records it and then puts it on Spotify.
what is the name of your story? What is the does he have a
Um,
name?
I'm gonna have to look up the link,
Nah, don't worry. No, no, it's okay. It's okay. I just thought that you may know. Don't worry about it.
but
Wow,
each
tell me more,
one of
please. I was not aware of that.
each one of those says, um, I survived a Bigfoot.
Okay, I survived the BIGFOOT. All right.
Yeah. Um,
Okay.
Now, yeah, to rehash the story, it only took about 40 seconds.
Where do this happen?
Um, 6 blocks away from downtown Lawton, Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
downtown Lawton, Oklahoma.
Wow.
If
Yeah.
you've ever been to Lawton, Oklahoma, you would know about the concrete canals that run through the center of town.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, they go literally from one end of town to the other, and they
Okay.
branch off into two different creeks. So
Okay.
you have Wolf Creek, and then that's the branch that I lived near, was Wolf Creek, and then you have what they used to call Squaw Creek, um, which is now Cache Creek. Um,
All right.
but they branched off in the middle of town and went. Um, they both went south, and they both empty out into the Red River.
Okay. Okay. I know the Red River.
Right.
Yes, I know about it. Yeah.
So you have also, um, Wolf Creek also goes all the way down to Lake Texoma.
Okay.
So you have all that ranch land that is off away from the public,
Mm-hmm.
and it's lined with trees all the way up and down, thick trees. And it winds through the countryside in all different directions. Um, and then you get to places like Geronimo. Geronimo has several tributaries of creeks. They go all different directions. Sorry about the dogs.
This is your Bigfoot.
Christy's back, but
Oh, okay. Okay. Um, I was, thank
okay.
you, Tim. Thank you, Tim Wrestler. Yeah, Condiff. Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear about Big on the. He has something about the Dogman, and it was a great, great, great channel. I just don't have the time, but if I listen a lot to the basic, which is
Um,
uh
you can look it up on YouTube. Um,
yeah, I'm going to, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just look
I
it up.
want to know what happened to you. Hi,
Um,
Chris, you back?
I'm back. Yep.
yeah, he gave me a link for the Spotify right after he interviewed me. So, um,
Okay, okay.
but
So this happened in Oklahoma. You
yeah,
know that I live in Oklahoma 32 years,
hmm
and I never knew anything about Bigfoot.
yeah,
Now, when I used to go to the powwows in Tahlequah, because I live in Muskogee, you see, I ended up in Oklahoma because in Tulsa, because the mechanics from American Airlines, all of them, most of them are from Puerto Rico.
right,
Mechanics, the airplane mechanics are from Puerto Rico. So my best friend from eighth grade school, she sent for me, and I stayed because I really like it. I live in New York, New Jersey. So,
hmm
I was like, this is a cool town. And I purchased my house in Muskogee. And I used to go to the powwows in the Tahlequah. But I heard about the hairy man.
hmm
Yep.
Never in a million years I thought that it was big. I didn't connect it. It's like same thing happens to me when I saw an Indian for the first time, and I was in the quick trip on Highway 69, and I saw this guy with dressed like an Indian,
hmm
and I say, with my big mouth, "Oh my God, that's an Indian!" And the guy turned around, and I was like, "Sir, I am so sorry.
hmm
Forgive me." Because in Puerto Rico, the Indians got killed. They don't survive. They committed genocide. Christopher Columbus, they killed all the Indians from Puerto Rico. We don't have Indians in Puerto Rico.
right,
So in my mind, I'm thinking that the same thing happened to the one in America, that it was almost the same. The Trail of Tears is just horrible.
yeah, and
Yeah.
everything that led up to the Trail of Tears, the American Indian were took the brunt of it. Now, everything that happened from Christopher Columbus all the way to the Trail of Tears, you're talking about South America, Central America,
Correct.
Mexico,
The
Puerto
Caribbean,
Rico,
yes.
Cuba, the
Cuba, yes.
Caribbeans, all those indigenous people, that millions of them slaughtered for,
Yes.
for land
You
and
are
gold.
correct. You are
Yeah.
correct. We just did a highway in Puerto Rico like 10, 15 years ago, and we find one of them grave with, I think it has 18 skulls inside of it. All of them were DNA tested,
hmm
and they come up with DNA from the 1400. It was a massacre, and they put all the bodies in a gravesite. And when they were doing this highway, they had to clean the earth and level
Hmm.
it. That's when they discovered the gravesite.
Right.
All that was done by the Spaniard, by the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah.
We thought that the same thing happened to the one in America, but they survived.
Mhm.
The one in America survived. So I started
For another go down? Or
researching, and that's
across the
when I
park?
find out about Geronimo.
Yeah.
Geronimo was the
11.
only person who
Yeah,
gave
that's me again.
war
Look at the
for
text. It's like,
25 years to the United States military.
I'll get you some cigarettes, okay?
Okay.
I'll be back again. We'll be right back.
Okay, I stay with Harold. He got good conversation.
Oh, yeah, you do too, Figgy.
Thank you. I'm a historian by heart. I love history. I love history, but
Yeah.
Geronimo was the one who give them battle, because otherwise, they were gonna be killed also. That's what happened
Right.
pretty much with a lot of them in America.
Yeah. Geronimo was one of the war chiefs. Now, he he convinced the other war chiefs there at the end that it was better to surrender so that the people could live, you
Yes,
know, that their generations could live
yes,
beyond that point, because if they continued fighting, then they would be wiped out.
correct, correct. Yeah,
And then Geronimo, um, when he surrendered, he became a prisoner of war,
yes, he did.
and he was held in Fort Sill, Oklahoma,
That's where
and
he's buried.
he was never released. He's still a prisoner of war to this day, even though he's buried.
He's buried in For Sale.
Hmm.
In Bartersville, they got this museum. It's called Woola Rock. In Woola Rock, they have his glasses
Hmm.
and a letter that he wrote to his wife.
Yeah.
And the wife poncho is in Woola Rock because I've seen it and I took pictures of it.
Yeah.
Immediately when it says Geronimo, I know what it was about.
Yeah. Now you can't even walk up to Geronimo's grave because they have it fenced off.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Shortly after I went and visited the grave, they decided to fence it off because they said it was getting too much attention.
I mean, you imagine this guy is 4 feet tall, and he got a heart of a tiger.
Hmm.
Geronimo did.
Yeah.
I read the story, and he got dreams. Let me tell you something. He got dreams. I will never forget that Geronimo used to say that there was a iron horse that he saw, and it wasn't a dream, a
Right.
vision, and the iron horse was the train.
Hmm.
That was the years of the train when they were um building the railroad
Yep.
here in the nation. So
Yeah.
he got visions. He was a man of vision. He has some high higher entity that he was guiding him, because he
Yeah.
was
He was looked up to by many different tribes because of his intellect. He was well spoken. He was very intelligent, and he knew when diplomacy was better than combat.
wow, yeah.
Yeah.
I read all the story behind it, and I was touched, because there's no need for that. They were already signed agreement. Same in Puerto Rico. There was no need to kill all these um people. There was plenty of land. At the end, the United States came and kicked Spain out of the island.
Hmm.
The war between United States and Spain for Puerto Rico.
Yep.
So it was all them killing was for nothing.
Yep.
because Cain got kicked out of the island eventually.
Hmm.
So those things that it was unnecessary death. But pertaining to the albino, what we were talking about, I
Hmm.
knew that there was an albino that it was aggressive because there's a lady in West Virginia. She said a story. You welcome, Miss Sharon. Uh, there's a lady in West Virginia that it was talking about a white albino Bigfoot and that it was aggressive toward her.
Mm.
She might be talking about the one that you're talking about.
Right.
So I'm talking about the one that is non-aggressive.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not into the evil
You
side.
you're talking about the ones that are supposedly
Type
mixed
one.
with the human DNA, which they classify as a type one. Uh,
Yes, yes,
they're
yes. Correct.
they're less aggressive. Then you have your ones like originated in like Alaska, which are more of like the Gugwe, where they're totally aggressive because they don't have the human genome in their DNA sequence.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
they're
Something happened. Somebody's been playing with that DNA because they got the Kuchtaka,
right,
which is
but
very aggressive too.
it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about human evolution or animal evolution. Now, when you get several species of a creature, and then you go several hundred years into the future with these species, and they're coexisting,
Uh,
they're going to mix.
mingle together. Yeah,
Yeah, they're going. Their DNA is going to mix if it is allowed by nature. Uh,
correct.
Now, we live in the era now where it doesn't it we don't need just nature for something to be created, but natural evolution is when species that can procreate mix,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that helps the species thrive through the
yeah,
different climate changes that the
yeah.
earth goes through every few thousand years.
Correct, correct.
And uh, we we were aggressive um, in the beginning because we had to fight for our existence because we fought the Neanderthals to the death.
The
You know,
Neanderthal, I was gonna, sorry that I interrupt you, just give you a hint.
right?
In the research that I did, the Neanderthal was not created by God. They were part of the fallen angels DNA altering the
Yeah,
link.
you have several different species that
Yeah.
came from. We have the primate blood, right? Primate blood, and then you have what created the human genome, which is a mixture of several different other primate. So, you know, we weren't monkeys.
No,
We
never.
were never monkeys. We came from
No,
primates which are
the,
humanoid.
the
You
Lord
know,
make us. Remember, the
yeah.
Lord make us, and the fallen angels. This is my belief. The fallen angels altered the primate DNA, and a woman had the baby. That's what they're saying
Hmm.
in the Emerald tablet. And the firstborn, they call it Adamu. It looked like a regular person like you and me.
Hmm.
If in the Bible, when Cain killed his brother, he went away. He got married. He didn't took one of his sister. There was already people in there looking in Genesis. When Cain kills Abel and the Lord is talking to him and
Hmm.
put
Right.
thing in the it's a mark in the front in his forehead.
Hmm.
He says that Cain went and he married and he has
Right.
son, children
because there were other primate or humanoid species that walked the earth.
from the fallen angels people. Yes, they were. Yes, they were. You're right. That's what I'm trying to bring to the attention to the people. Us, we, the one that we fear and we believe in God.
And also a lot of people seem to forget when Noah made the ark, um, all humanoid species were put to death by flood, and Noah and his sons and their wives all had human DNA and Nephilim DNA. Noah came from Enoch.
Uh-huh.
Noah was a descendant of Enoch, and Enoch was a Nephilim.
Where
Enoch,
you get information from, Harold?
if you read the book of Enoch, if you read the book of
Uh-huh.
Enoch, Enoch was a Nephilim. He was part human, part Nephilim, and that's what allowed him to go to heaven and come back.
Of course, the one that I find is that Enoch was one of them chosen, them seeds that God put on earth, like he did with the watchers. Those watchers was supposed to be protecting Adam and Eve. And because they came to the earth and they were having relationship with the daughters of men, they failed in protecting Adam and Eve. And that's how the snake, got
Right.
into the garden because they
God,
were doing the job. But
God chose Enoch to spread the word like he chose Moses to spread the word.
so true, but I didn't know that he was a Nephilim because what I find this is this. Nephilim is the children of angel, which is the fallen angels,
Mm-hmm.
with a woman human. Whatever comes out of that was the Nephilim, and there was 10 of them, the 10 different tribes of giants.
Mm-hmm.
I got it in my documentary, and I got the name of the tribes
But
because Moses got together with 5 kings.
the
And,
the only the only way the human race could be reestablished was there had to be females on the earth. Okay,
listen,
for them to be naturally reestablished, there had to be females, and all of Noah's sons' wives were part Nephilim.
listen, Michelle McGuire, it says over here that there was 2 Enochs. There's 2 Enoch. Michelle saying that.
Um, I've only heard of the one, but
Me too. I only heard of the only one
yeah,
that he
but
was. He didn't die. He went to heaven, right?
um,
Enoch.
in order to go to heaven, um, you have to become a spirit.
So
You
that means that
cannot,
he was a spirit because
right,
the
but
certain people
since he was only half human, his human side died, but the other half that was Nephilim was already a spirit creature. So
I'm
when
gonna
he came back,
because
when he was allowed to come back with the knowledge, he did not come back in human form. He came back in spirit form.
okay, because the Enoch that I find out is the one that is like the great grandpa of Noah.
Yes.
Okay, and that I found out is that he was a servant of God. It doesn't say where
Right.
he comes from per se, but I'm gonna look into it. You say in the book of Enoch is in
Yes.
it.
And then his servants, right? They were the ones that finished the book, right? Because when he came back, um, later on, it doesn't say exactly when, but he was walking to the creek with one of his servants, and this he asked the servant to get him some water, and the servant bent down to get him some water. And when the servant rose back up to give him the water, he was gone. So he was called to heaven because he served his purpose.
Okay, okay,
But he
okay.
did not die the second time.
Are you talking about Enoch, right?
Right. Right.
Okay.
He did not die the second time because he didn't have a human soul when he came back. He was Nephilim. He was part angel.
You know something? I think there was two Enochs. Thinking back, I think there was. I
When
think
they
Michelle,
say when they
right?
say two Enochs, they're talking about the human when he was human, and then when he was um, no longer human and Nephilim.
Hmm. Because that's something new for me, but I'm always willing to learn something new. Co-
Because all of his servants wrote in the book of Enoch that when
Hmm.
he came back, he looked different. He was transparent. He was not of the flesh when he came back.
That remind me of Noah. When Noah was born, he was so bright and so clear that he thought that Noah's daddy didn't thought that Noah was human, and he prayed to the Lord, and the Lord sent the message of no, he is a human being. He's not a hybrid or a Nephilim, or he comes from. But I'm gonna look into it because that's I
Noah was
I don't
Noah
know.
was born of the human side of Enoch. Noah was already born um, through Noah was born through the son of Enoch, and then of course Noah's father. So he was two generations removed. He was two
Okay.
generations removed of the from the human side. Okay, but he still had Nephilim blood,
Mm,
and his sons had Nephilim blood, but they were considered human. But if you read in the Bible, Noah was a big man. He wasn't of small stature. He was tall. He was very tall, very wide shouldered, and he stood out amongst a crowd. So he was larger than most men. That's
taller.
because that's because of his bloodline. His
Hmm.
his bloodline made him bigger than most, and then the daughters of his sons were half Nephilim, but God allowed them to go upon the ark so that they could naturally replenish the earth with the human race because
I
they
heard.
all had
I
human
did.
DNA.
I did hear about the daughter, the in-laws, that the females were from the lineage of the Nephilim. I did hear that before.
Right,
But I do notice, like Michelle McGuire is saying here, everything that God did, the enemy replicate them. I see that. I see that in two different occasions, and
right.
I was confused for a
But
second, but I went back and I read it again.
but
Like,
there's one thing that evil cannot replicate, and that's human DNA.
cool.
God will not allow demons or anyone in that realm to replicate human DNA. He put a curse upon the fallen angels to where they never reach heaven again.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
made it where they could not take the form of a human being ever
yeah,
again.
yeah. I did notice that there was a replica of everything that the Lord did, including the names and this. I think this. I think I'm not 100% certain. I got the Bible here, but I don't want to go into it because I just woke up. But I think that it was two different. There was two different people with the same name, but they came from one from the Cain, the one that killed the brother, and the other ones came from either Ham or Seth. The other song that Adam and Eve have
Yeah,
was his name Seth. It was from that line, including
right. And so-called, well, not Christianity. Christianity was that when Jesus came, but the precursor to Christianity. Now, the ones that believed in the one true God, um, it was Adam and Eve, right? And then they had their children. Okay, the second generation son, now he, or the grandson, I should say, he reinstated Christian, or the early forms of Christianity, the belief in the one God, because all of his brothers and sisters went away from it because of the influence of Satan and the Nephilim.
yes, I read about that too. Actually, they are saying that the king Nimrod, which is Noah's great grandson, was killed by
Right.
Esau. But some people say yes, some people say no. Other people say that Esau killed him because he was an idolater. Idolatry ran really deep those days because
Yeah.
of the influence from the fallen angels, of course. So,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
arcane paranormal world. Ham was
Well,
the corrupted child. Yeah, I'm talking
and
about the second boy that Adam and Eve have. There's a king named Melchizedek. There's a king named Melchizedek,
mhm,
saying that right. And that king, nobody knows where he comes from. And is Abraham talked to him a lot.
right.
Abraham, the father of the 12 tribes,
Hmm. Well,
Melchizedek, something like that was the name of that king. And nobody knows where he comes from. People said that he comes from the line of Adam and Eve, not the not Cain, but the one that he was born after Cain.
right. And someday that will all come out,
Yes,
because there it is written down somewhere. It just
and you
hasn't been discovered.
you know that I was thinking about that, Harold, and all these things are connected to religion.
Yeah.
All of it, all of it. The aliens, the giants, the Nephilims, all of that is connected to Nimrod. Was the descendant of Ham.
Yeah.
Nim, Nimrod and the
Yeah.
other one.
Nimrod. Yeah. Um.
Okay, okay. But this king, uh, Melchizedek, I was just watching a story about him, and Abraham come to see him, and when they eat the same thing like Jesus Christ. It was bread and wine, but
Hmm.
Jesus Christ was not alive those days yet.
Right.
So they're saying that that king might come from the lineage of the second son that that Adam and Eve have, which his name I'm trying to find. It was a weird name. Um, I can't remember his name, but it was right after it happens. There was another song. Actually, I think that's from the lineage that Jesus Christ comes from, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember his name. He's a child of Adam and Eve. You know what? Yes, there's two Enochs in the Bible. She's right. He's right here. Look. Yeah, she's right. And one of it come from the line of Cain. Look
Hmm.
right here on Genesis number, and there's also two Methuselahs, if I'm not mistaken. Four. So Michelle was right. The line of Seth. They are
Right.
family records of the descendants of Adam. I think I think that's the guy that I'm talking about, Seth, which is the child that he have after
Right.
Cain was killed.
Right.
That's what it is. Yeah, I think it's the line of Seth. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. But the deal is that that king is speculated that he come from that line and that he was the king of Salem,
Yeah.
and he was very powerful.
Yeah.
He was a believer, a religious man. And Abraham went to see him and bow to him and have dinner with him. And people are always questioning where this king come from, because supposedly there's no background of him. There's no background of the mom. There's no background
Right.
of the
Yeah.
dad. But
Like
there's
just
other-
says Seth's line was uh, the promised line, but after Seth, after him, his son, um, and his son's sons went
Mhm,
away from worshiping the one God, and it wasn't till the third generation after that
mhm,
where uh, the belief in the one God came back, and that was set by the true lineage, um, the promised line, um, the
it is, it is said.
the
I'm
the
looking
the
at it.
great it was three great, yeah, it was the third great of Set when they reestablished the one God thing, and they then formed um, their their some would classify it as a cult, you know.
Okay.
That's kind of what they called it back then, anyways.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, then um, then you had a break off after that, um, several generations, of course, after that. But you had the break off of the precursor to Christianity, and then the Muslim, which
Oh.
was the Arabic uh, belief that, you know, you had one side that believed that God was this one, and then the other side believed that no, God is this.
Mhm.
They had their different translations of the Bible,
Yeah. Yeah.
so they separated, and
Mhm.
and that's the way it is now today. You have your Muslim belief, and then you have your, I
Yeah.
shouldn't say Muslim, I should say Islamic belief,
Islamic belief. Yeah. It
and
just the
and then the Christian belief. But the,
it just
but then
different.
there's also the ones that, you know, you have your Christian belief. Christian belief is they believe that Christ died for our sins. You know,
Was
they
God.
then there's other secular beliefs that believe that uh
He was the prophet.
yeah, he was the prophet. Then you have ones that believe that Jesus was God. Okay, that Jesus is God. They're all separated in their beliefs, but the two original religions believed in the same. They read from the same scripture. They read
Mhm.
from the same scripture. They just deciphered it different. So that's where they split.
That's that, that's one of those things that I found in the book of law, like criminal law
Mm-hmm.
and the Bible. Both of those subjects, both of them is according to our own interpretation. Like the church that it was passing poisonous snakes into the
Mm-hmm.
congregation in
Yeah.
Texas, remember? It was a guy that he founded a church in the belief that even if you have poisonous snake, nothing will happen to you because you got the protection of God. So the son of the founder of that church, he got married and they have a child, and the wife was against it
Mm-hmm.
because even that they got church, they were passing. It's in YouTube, by the way, when the guy got bitten by the snake, the guy died. The son of the
Mm-hmm.
founder.
Yeah, he got bitten.
Yes, but the wife was against it to passing the snake to that child, and they ended up in a divorce,
Right.
in divorce court. And the lady is just like, listen, I understand about all these things about religion, but I don't think that a child has any business with a poisonous snake in his hands
Yeah.
at his age. Long story short, the guy got bitten by the snake and he died. So once again, that goes back to our own interpretation because I think it was Peter that got bitten by a snake when he survived the ship that wrecked. They ended up in an island, and he went to get some wood, and a snake bite him, and he just shake it off. And everybody was like, "Who is this guy that he's not dead?" Because that snake was a poisonous snake. Well, that happened to Peter because Peter was a man of God. He got the Holy Spirit and all of these things. But that child, he barely, didn't even go to kindergarten yet for you be passing a poisonous snake into that kid's hands. The mama was against it, of course.
Right.
So exactly, abnormal instant. That's Mike.
Yeah.
Abnormal investigation. That's Mike. That's my people. Oklahoma. Yes, we rock. Yes, Mike. And it was tempting. It was pretty much that church was tempting the the Lord because playing with this poisonous snake. And long story short, is in YouTube. Passing when you see when the guy got beaten, and then he stayed. He didn't seek no medical
Mm-hmm.
assistance. He
Yeah.
stayed trying to play it off, and he died because when that poison spread, it spread quickly, and they couldn't save him. But there's those things that we cannot be playing with. My grandma, the one that raised me until my mom came and got me. My grandma used to say that a lot. The things of the Lord are holy. You don't
Mm-hmm.
play with. That's not for game. That's not for
Yeah.
playing.
Kind of like what Mike said. Do not tempt temptation because
Correct.
um,
Correct. Everything was created for a purpose, and poisonous snake was not created for us to be passing among
right.
the congregation of any church. That was not the reason why it was created. But going
Yeah.
back to the albino, I'm gonna listen to your story because I don't know about your story,
Yeah.
which are fascinating. I
I
love it. I want to know everything. So
if you look back at the it was either episode 1 or episode 2 of Bigfoot and stuff. I tell a little bit about it. Um, but I tell some of that I didn't say in my stories that I told the other people.
okay,
I still haven't told everything about it. I plan on doing that at some point on my own time on my own channel. Um, but yeah, go look at Squatch Topic PA. He has
Tonight.
a segment where he has people write in. He's got several videos of that, and I was the first one. Then, like I said, Vic Cundiff, right? And then Tinfoil Tales. Now, Tinfoil Tales, he was the one that the first one that I actually did a live. I spoke to him live. I wrote into Josh. I wrote into him. Then I spoke live to Tinfoil Tales, and then I spoke live to Vic. And I hope to have both of those guys on this show before too long, because they both said because I went on their show that they would make an appearance on mine. Now I know Vic doesn't show his face,
Yeah,
so
that's okay.
it'll still be a good interview. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't want to know about the messenger. We want to know about the message. That's what's important.
Right.
Um, I was not aware about your situation, and um, I'm gonna do it tonight because I love stories like that. And also, I heard the story of a lady from West Virginia, and she was talking about this white Bigfoot that it was aggressive toward her. And I know that there's a set of twins, Bigfoot, albinos. There's two of them.
Mm-hmm.
The one that you say that makes three.
Right.
See, the ones that they're the twins, they are in Oklahoma because Mike have a video that he was in the river,
Mm-hmm.
his son, and the son got hit by a rock.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of the kid? Mike's son,
Yeah.
the Mike Abnormal Investigation.
Mm-hmm.
He has a son, and the son was in the river with him, and something hit him. A rock, a rock hit him on his boot,
Mm-hmm.
and, and Mike's son turned around and said, "Daddy, let's go." Well, when they are leaving, where the pickup truck was parked, to your left hand side, it's like a area full of brushes.
Mm-hmm.
Right behind it, they were hiding back there because I got them on the. I like to stop the videos and use
Mm-hmm.
my magnifying glass.
Yeah.
That's how I find them. They were right beside Mike
Yeah.
when Mike was leaving that day that the kid got hit with a rock. Actually, that area that Mike went, that place is infested with Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a river. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Mike from Oklahoma, abnormal.
Yeah.
And, I love it. I love it because Mike, he give me high blood pressure because I like to watch when he goes on boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But oh Lord, he likes to push it. And I'm here, Mike, don't push it because he's by himself. We love the guy. Mike is cool. He's just straight up. I like his style. And because I know that he's alone, and these beings are really fast. I have read and I have heard stories
Yeah.
about hunters with weapons disappear.
Mm-hmm.
That's how fast these things are.
Yep.
I mean, because they're able to cloak, they're over there now, but they can be over here in 2 seconds. And boom, you're gone because they're bigger and taller than you.
Um, Figgy, go on my channel, right? O.C.S.T. Look for the Parallel Forest 2, right? There's a point in there. It's kind of towards the back end of the middle of the video where
Okay.
I put in slow motion where there's something staring at me and Christy behind a tree.
Okay, I'm on your site. I'm on your
Right.
YouTube channel here right now. I'm
Well,
on home,
that
video shorts live on playlist. You want me to go to videos?
um, you can do it on your own time. It's just I'm going to explain something
Tell me,
about it
tell me,
now.
tell me, please.
Now, the moment Christy says to me, because she's off a little ways from me, right, and
Uh-huh.
I'm filming in one direction, she's going down the other direction, and
Okay.
um, she says to me, she says, Harold, um, point your camera over there because she says I feel something over there. The exact moment I walk over there and I point the camera right where she said, something standing behind a tree, right? You can see the head and you can see the shoulders, right? And it turns from her to me, and
Wow.
then I start walking one direction and it walks the same direction I do.
Wow.
Okay. And then probably about 2.5, 3 minutes later, I'm walking in that one direction and she's following me. Christy is. And we go by this bush that has the top of it's bent over, right? And broken, and it's pointing in a direction. Well, I go around that bush, I film it, and then go behind the bush, and there's uprooted trees, right? They're all dead, uprooted trees, but they're sitting next to the holes where they pulled out of. And I go to bend down to uh, to show people on the camera, and I'm like, and I said, look, this belongs here. And as soon as I said that, what happens? There was a
Oh Lord. Oh Jesus. Oh no. What was it?
um it didn't show itself, right? But when we go to end the video, when we go to end the video, the wind picks up and starts swirling around us, and the leaves are swirling and everything, right? And I did not hear it live when I was recording, but
Okay.
you go back and you watch the video there at the end, you hear that oh, but longer, much longer, and oh, and it's right behind my head.
Oh my God, my. I mean,
Now
yeah,
there
I,
there's no visual of it, but there's audio.
but you hear it.
Hmm.
Same happened with Mike.
Yeah.
Many times, Mike is doing his boots on the ground, and we hearing everything.
Hmm.
He doesn't hear it. We hear the laughter.
Yeah.
We hear when the thing says "get out." Many
Hmm.
times,
Yep.
laughter. The certain things that Mike hear, but there's other things that he don't hear, but we hear it
Right.
over here in our homes.
Yeah,
So
because
we
when you're out there, when you're out there, you don't hear everything because the audio, the your cameras pick up sounds that you can't hear with your own ears. But you as a viewer can hear it because it's coming through the audio of the camera. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So you think that that Bigfoot was right behind you, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It was.
Wow.
And that's
This,
when I was like, okay, we're done. Let's go.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is it. This is it. I,
But
I,
I didn't
this.
react to the growl. I reacted to everything swirling around us and then hearing footsteps.
Wow.
And there was nobody left in the park.
Wow.
All the cars had left. The people that were parked there and hiking through there, they all left, and it was
Oh,
getting dark. So,
wow.
and the parallel forest is notorious for being a spooky place at night because there's a lot of spirits in
What is
there.
the name of it?
The parallel forest. It's in the Wichita Mountain Wildlife Refuge.
Parallel forest. I'm gonna look into it. I like that stuff, man, and I'm telling you.
Yeah,
It's I,
supposedly there's a missing child that was buried there.
really
Um, yeah, there's people that have come up missing going hiking through there.
okay,
There's several Bigfoot reports. There's Dogman reports.
okay.
There's witches. There's just evil spirits. They they use a Spanish grinding stone as a satanic altar there.
Oh Lord,
Yeah.
oh Lord. You know, one thing that I saw in one of them videos from Mike, Normal Investigation.
Hmm.
Mike used to go to this place, and there was like a huge frog. It's like a huge white a creature, and it looked like a frog, like a giant frog. And from this eye to this eye, the difference was almost like a feet, maybe more.
Hmm.
And it's always hidden behind the. But I can tell because it's so big and it's so huge. And when I stopped the video and I started using my magnifying glass, I can see it.
Hmm.
And, there's a lot of different cryptids. It's not only the regular dogman Bigfoot. Now you got um other ones like the one that they're saying the thunderbird. It's like a bird
Hmm. The
that
Thunderbird. Yeah.
yeah,
Good night, Mike. Good night, Jess.
good night guys, good night and have a good.
Yeah.
The
Um,
wingspan is like what, 10 feet, 5 feet.
um,
The
I've
thunderbird.
heard I've heard people saying that they saw a Thunderbird that with the wingspan of 12 to 15 feet. So
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, it's something that is scary, because we don't know what them people did, but whatever they did, it was no good.
yeah.
And in Revelation, I think it's 7:14, it speaks about the wild beast of the earth comes and that's on the seven, no, on the fourth seal. In the fourth
Yeah.
seal, it speaks about it, about the
Yeah.
wild beasts of the
Hmm.
Revelation 6, 6,
Yeah.
it is the fourth seal.
Hmm.
6, 7.
Yeah.
It speak about the authority was given to them
Good
over
night,
a
John.
hell to kill by the sword, famine, plague, and by the wild animals of the earth. And they're not talking about the lion and they're talking about those things that they're hitting in the forest that we don't know about.
Hmm.
That's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
But I just want to thank you because when I was doing my computer work, that's what I listened to you, to Mike, and to many others. That's what keep me, you know,
Yeah.
from getting bored of this so much because I have to read a lot.
Yeah.
And to do my documentary, I have to read a lot. I've been reading for the
Well,
last.
I'm glad I was able to help you out then.
Of course, and I like it. I love it because it gives me more to look into it because I want to know. I want to know everything. But at the end, there's a promise, and the promise is that it's going to be a new city, a new
Yeah.
kingdom, a new earth. And I'm looking forward to see my grandma again
Hmm.
because my grandma was the most beautiful, kind-hearted person that I ever met, and
Oh
I
yeah.
really want to see my grandma. She raised me since I was a kid.
I can't
So,
wait to see my grandma again.
yes, grandmas are the best, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, everything that I am, it was because of her.
Yeah.
Everything, everything. Even the respect for the Lord.
Yeah.
I don't play with that, friend. That's holy, and you don't play with that.
Right.
I just want to thank you and thank everybody, and to please, I'm trying to help to the ones that they're being killed, abused, and that's what I'm trying to do,
Yeah.
because they say the beef says that they believe in God, So wait a second. It might be that there's two of them, the one that they're evil and the one that they believe in God, because they call God uh Father, God, something like that. I tell you
Yeah.
the name, they has a
Yeah.
name for it. And I'm trying to help because I heard stories, and I don't like harm upon nobody, because I'm just a kind heart person, and
Yeah.
if we
Well,
can do something to help them out, I think we can do it.
yeah. Well, just remember, um, like the saying says, knowledge is power, right?
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
uh, two opinions doesn't mean either one of us are wrong. It just
Yes,
means we have the patience and the ability to sit down and discuss
yes.
our belief and
Correct.
our knowledge of the fact and of our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, when two people can sit down and discuss like we have, um, whether you leave the conversation with more knowledge or the same, you never leave with less.
Yes, sir. I agree. Yeah, I agree,
So
and I thank you because I
conversations can make you rich.
correct. It guides you. It can guide you. Yes,
Yeah.
and um, I'm I'm just trying to help because I have heard the stories about the mamas being killed. Patty type, and the mamas being killed and the babies being killed, and I just don't agree with that, Harold. Even though
Yeah.
that they're different, that doesn't give no one the right to kill them because they got more hair than we do. Well, but I'm talking about
Yeah.
the type one. I'm not talking about the Ginoska. I'm not talking about the Pistaka. I'm talking
Well,
about one
even
that they.
even the aggressive ones, there's a reason why they're aggressive is because we invade their space.
Yes, friend. Yes, I seen that too.
So so if we can study from afar, it's just like going out into the African jungle, right? You go out in the African jungle, you're gonna witness things out there, and you're gonna keep a distance, okay? And they know if they go out in the African jungle, if they get too close to something, that's it, because they know everything out there wants to eat you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so if we go into the American woodlands, if we go into the American woodlands, um, just like, hey, this is my land, and you're gonna get off of it, um, karma comes back,
Correct, correct.
and every single Bigfoot clan protects their own, whether they're aggressive or not.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If we go after one and we kill it, that entire clan's coming after you.
Yes, yes.
So
I
that's
heard
what
this.
we have to think about when we go in the woods. Do you really want to harm something that has the ability to not only harm you itself, but have three or four or more others rip you to shreds, all
Yes,
because you wanted a trophy?
yes, yes, yes. I just don't agree with the killing of Bigfoot.
Right.
Now, if like the situation that the Bigfoot is aggressive, blah blah, then that's a different thing. But me going out of my way because of money, because I want to have one as a trophy, I just don't agree with that because the Lord gave us dominion over the beast and the wild animals and the animals, but I don't think that killing for sport was one of the reasons.
if
that we got that power, and I don't agree with, you know.
if the only way that Bigfoot is going to absolutely be proven real is with a body, right? But
They
Bigfoot,
already had it. They
Bigfoot,
already the
yeah,
body.
the military has it. The
Yeah,
military has the bodies, but
yeah,
the public doesn't. The public doesn't. And the only way the public is going to accept Bigfoot being real is with a body. But as long as this creature is being used for nefarious reasons,
yeah.
it's not going to be public to us. Just in this community of
Mm-hmm.
Bigfoot researchers and Bigfoot enthusiasts,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we
You know,
we have to trust that every single one of us that go on a podcast has a show. We have to trust that they're going to tell the truth, regardless of the outcome.
yeah.
If I go out in the woods and I don't see anything, I'm not going to be like, yeah, I heard it over there, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get it on camera. So um, we'll come back and try again. And then next week is the same thing. No, I'm going to tell you after I go there a couple times,
Mm-hmm.
it's no use coming back here because there's no sign. We'll come back 6 months later, try again.
Yeah.
But if I tell you I saw something and I'm not doing a live, I'm doing a taped version of my show, I guarantee you I'm not going to put a CGI Bigfoot in the background like a whole lot of these people do. You know,
Okay.
that I'll use CGI for my music. I'll use CGI to help me on ending my entrance and my ending credits and all that, but I'm not going to use CGI to manipulate my footage.
Yeah.
You know, that
I
there's too
I
many of that happening now, too much of that happening nowadays.
I agree. I agree. Some of them videos that they're saying about, listen, anybody can manipulate audio and video.
Hmm.
They there was uh there was a guy who recorded Bigfoot talking. It's called the he's very famous that his recording, it happened long time ago. He's some people where they talking among each other,
Hmm.
and one of them say, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
What's the name? I can't remember the name of the
yeah, I don't
recording.
remember the name of it, but
That,
um,
that's very, very, very real.
if you have a chance, if you haven't
Sierra
yet,
Sound.
go
Thank you, Sierra
go
Sound.
yeah, go listen to the Sierra Sounds um,
Yes, the
on
one.
YouTube.
Thank you,
On
Riley.
YouTube, there's a man that claims to have actually deciphered some of the Bigfoot language. He listens to the Sierra Sounds, and
Wow.
he's a language expert. He was a
Okay.
language expert in the military,
Uh-huh.
and he's like, you know, this is an actual conversation that we're listening to. There's
Wow.
actual there's actual meaning to the words. So,
How
uh,
I hear the last one when he said clearly, "Oh my God," he's
mhm,
mocking the humans. If you listen to the Sierra Sound, there's a moment that one of them says, "Oh my God." That's what we say when we see them because we are impressed and we're like, "Oh my God, they're mocking us." That's what, if you hear it,
mhm, yeah.
I think it was
Well,
the last one.
I was outside the other night. I don't know if you saw that clip, but I was outside using my night vision, right? And I had a cat on camera, and I said, "Look, is that a cat?" As soon as I said that, something behind me
Uh-huh.
says, "Yeah."
No, I have not seen that.
Well, on the video, you can,
Oh, shit.
if it, you have to listen really, really close because as I'm turning, as I'm turning as I say that, is that a cat? So I'm turning, so there's a little bit of distortion, but you can barely make out that, you know.
Wow.
And then when I turn the camera, I focus in between two trees on my neighbor's house, and at about the 6.5 foot mark, there's two eyeballs shining in the dark, and
Wow.
and then probably about, I don't know, 15 20 seconds later, my
Mhm.
cat comes walking from around that corner, and the eye shine's still there where it was, but my cat's walking around the corner and his eyes light up like truck
He's on
lights,
something,
right,
right?
in the
Something.
night vision. But those two eyes that are back there are still
Focus on you.
little tiny, and they're watching the cat as it walks away, and then it turns and looks at me, and then I
Uh,
turn and I film the cat, and when I go back to look at the eye shine, it's gone.
okay. Mike, so you do have a Bigfoot um visiting you?
I have a Bigfoot that comes around that. She followed me from Lawton.
It's a female.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Mike, that's
there's
Mike, that's meaningful.
there's her, and now she has three offspring. So
Wow.
the one that was behind me the other night was probably one of the offspring
Okay.
because it sounded like a male.
Okay. And they great mimickers.
Yeah.
One of somebody was saying over here that they like to mimic. Mike, so Mike, this is meaningful. Mike, Mike, I'm Harold.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is that's if you have a female Bigfoot and it's following you and she got babies, that's a good thing because she is looking at you. She
She
knows
had
you're a family man.
she had her first one down in Lawton because I have video footage of a baby footprint alongside hers.
What's her name? Did you put a name on her yet?
I never really named her, but
Did you feed her? Did you bring her treats?
she doesn't she doesn't like treats.
Okay. Have you
I've left the young ones toys.
nice?
They kind of play with them, but yet they don't. Uh, but but um, one of them did take an apple one time. So
Okay. You know something that I read and that I heard? They got healing powers. Now also, I don't know if I mentioned this to you. I found 18 Bigfoot researchers who
mhm,
have died of cancer. So beware of the situation
mhm,
because radiation, as you know, it can be, it can be attached into surfaces and attached into stuff.
right.
One of those radiation tester. Try to
Mhm.
get one of those. Or let me see how much is it. Test around your house to see if you got some radiation.
Oh yeah,
Because what I'm trying to say is this: the aliens are taking the Bigfoot and they are probing them and messing with them, like the one in Alaska, the Kustaka, that is completely that Kustaka. It just right in front of people. It just vanished. It disappeared. It just becomes something else.
yeah.
And the people that we have in Oklahoma doesn't do that. Maybe it does, but in a different style.
Um,
So,
Michelle says you should never feed them. Well, Michelle, I don't feed any of
uh,
them here because I have other people living here for one thing. If it was just me, I wouldn't have
oh,
a problem feeding them. But also, I don't want to feed the juvenile um, Bigfoots because they could come dependent on that, and I want them to learn how to forage for themselves.
That's
So
another thing. They fall in love with the girls because
yeah.
remember they have human sight, and I've heard some stories from Alaska where the Bigfoot have kidnapped the woman and got them pregnant, and the babies came out. There's one in Russia that it was a female Bigfoot. The guy purchased her, and she helped her. She helped him around. Well, she got pregnant with a baby boy, and
Hmm.
the baby boy got to live a meaningful life,
Yeah,
and his daughters are still alive.
yeah,
So
and
the process has happened.
his mother supposedly, after the boy got a certain age, the mother left the village to live with the Bigfoot again.
Oh, really? I thought she died.
No, she left.
Oh, that is so cool. I'm happy for her. Let me just say this before we leave, because I know.
Yeah, I got to get off here.
Listen, man, I'm Mike Harold. I got Mike's name on my brain, but it's because I worry about him what he do. But listen to this. I heard that they have healing powers. You know that they have healed broken bones from a lady in a motorcycle
Well,
accident.
yeah,
Female.
they're a native species. They're a native species. They lived alongside the native people, so they they taught the natives some ways of healing, and the natives also taught them. So
Okay.
they have medicine men,
Wow.
just like the Native Americans have their medicine men and women. You know, um,
Okay.
they they know the natural ways of healing. So they're going to use herbs. They're going to use spices. They're going to use
Okay.
everything that someone out in nature that's an herbalist knows what to look for to make healing potions. They make healing potions.
Wow.
They
That
eat
is so
healthy.
cool. Because the reason why I'm interested is because I have asthma. And
Mhm,
man, me having asthma is like a curse, to be honest. And I'm just wishing that I can get healed through medical, natural way. Because
mhm,
my grandma healed my grandpa.
mhm.
So when I asked her, I was like, "Why don't you do it for me?" She told me, "Girl, I give him so many different teas that I don't know which was the one that healed him."
Mhm.
Tea, natural teas from herbals and all these things.
Yeah,
So it's one of those things that is beneficial for us. And hey man, you got something that not everybody has. You have a female following you. I mean, that means
yeah,
trust. She trusts you.
yeah. Well, she apparently uh, trusted me back in 2012 when I first saw her. I mean, she trusted me so much that she saved me from being ripped to shreds. So,
Oh,
uh,
that's the same one.
yeah.
Are you
Except
kidding?
now she's older and more heavier.
That is amazing, friend.
Yeah, she sits right behind the house at night.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, Navin, Harold. That is, I mean, shoot, man, you are a lucky man, man. He knew you were good people.
I have one picture. I have one picture of her that came out really blurry because it was really dark, and
Yeah,
all I had was my cell phone flash.
yeah.
Right? She
Okay.
growled at my dog, and I yelled back at her. I said, "Don't you growl at my dog. You're not
Uh-huh.
going to eat my dog." Right? And I took the picture, and she's sitting
Uh-huh.
on her rump, and she's like this, and then she's got one of the juveniles on her shoulder. But
Wow.
it's really blurry, but I know what she looks like. I know what
They,
she looks like, so I could make it out that it was her.
They have something that they use to protect themselves because
Hmm.
Duke, I was watching Duke. I can't remember his name. Duke is one of the from the community, from the BIGFOOT community. He's well known. Duke, I forgot his last name. He's the one from the War BIGFOOT radio.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Um,
Duke, uh, he
Riley. Yeah.
Duke.
Just a second. Riley says, "How long do Bigfoot live on average? 50 to 60 years." Riley, I don't remember the name of the researcher, but there's a researcher out there that was around um, a Bigfoot that actually lived to be. They estimated about 80 years old the last time they saw her. She, she was estimated to be about 80. So they live approximately the same lifespan as a human being.
Yeah, yeah. That's I hear that they live longer than us. Thank you, Riley, Ron, Ivy, Forrest, Sullivan, Doug Sullivan. In one of his videos from 10 years ago, I'm watching this video and I'm noticing that he got like a little pet iguana, a dragon, and I'm noticing that the dragon is walking toward his head because the dragon saw the little. It's a juvenile Bigfoot, and as I'm looking at it, when Duke put the camera toward area that the juvenile Bigfoot was at, it became blurry. But when he turned it away from it, then you can see the Bigfoot.
Yeah,
And I started looking at this, and then I sent him an email, and I was like, "Hey man, you got a Bigfoot right beside you at a hand reach."
yeah.
Long story short, I sent it to him, and he saw what I saw. This Bigfoot is like creating like a like let's call it like a shield that we immediately just block what we are looking.
Hmm.
So me and Duke Sullivan, we saw it, and it's because they are able. Janice Carter says that they're able to bend light, but I don't know if that's bending the light. I know that they're able to create a disruption
They
when we
they
cannot
they
take it.
have they have a fur coat that, well, fur, it's hair. That their coat of hair has clear follicles. Okay, they have a mixture of clear follicles along with different colors, brown, black, white, um, and the mixture of those along with the clear follicles allows the light to be manipulated to where
Wow.
they can actually blend in with their surroundings. So
Okay.
be looking right at one, and the only way you're going to be able to see it is if it opens its eyes.
Mm. Wow. Thank you. Well, I learned that with Doug Sullivan, and I sent it to him, and he was like, he didn't even know that a little Bigfoot was beside him, and the Bigfoot is playing with him. He's you can see in the video when the
Yeah.
Bigfoot is sticking his tongue out,
Hmm.
messing with Duke, but Duke cannot see it
Now,
because they got this mechanism that they are able to become blurry
the
in that
the perfect
clothing.
comparison is a person wearing the camouflage uh, netting, right? You have the
Uh-huh.
camouflage netting that has different colored strands on it, right?
Uh-huh.
They sit out in the woods. A sniper will lay down on the ground, and you won't be able to see him because the coloring of that netting allows for the light to be manipulated to where you can't see the outline of that person.
It's
So
blending.
it's the same concept. It's angle and light manipulation.
It was amazing, man. I learned something new. That's the reason why when people say that Bigfoot is blurry, well, yeah, it is. I seen it. They are able to do this thing that they are blurry. And I noticed that when he changed the position of the camera,
Hmm.
then you can see the little Bigfoot again. And he's
Yeah.
sticking his tongue out. He's playing with Duke Sullivan. It was amazing.
It.
I sent it to Duke. He liked it. He put it on his channel.
Yeah.
So
Ghillie suit. That's right, Amy. I just couldn't think. Ghillie
yeah,
suits have the same uh, way of manipulating the light to where um, you will blend in completely with the background.
yes, them ghillie suits are something else, man. Yeah, they're
Oh yeah.
scary. Yeah, they do. But
And
I just want to
there's been
thank
a
you.
lot of people that have mistaken someone in a ghillie suit for a Bigfoot because it looks similar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially that person is a tall person.
Yeah.
I tell you, friend, I just find out about Bigfoot like around 3 years ago, and I'm fascinated because I know they might not be able to communicate like you and me, but they talk
Right.
in small broken English words, and I would like to know what they know history wise. I'm driven by that. I would
Oh,
love to do that.
Figgy, one person you need to look up on Facebook and on YouTube.
What is it?
I don't know if you already know of her because she's been in the chat before, but Elder Medicine Bear Claw.
No, no. I'm
Elder
writing.
Medicine Bear Claw, or her name is Ramona. Okay. Um, she is she's a medicine woman.
Okay,
She is Native American,
okay.
and she is uh, she's very in tune with Bigfoot. She has a
Wow.
clan that she helps take care of where she
Oh,
lives
cool.
up on a mountain. The Bigfoot live up on a mountain. She helps take care of them.
Wow.
If you watch her lives, she will answer any questions you have about about that. She would be very helpful in your research.
Wow. Yes, I'm gonna check it out tonight because I was
Yeah.
mentally exhausted for reading so much for the last 3 months, and today I took a break. I buy me some KFC, and around 6 o'clock, because it was raining, I was like, I'm gonna take a nap, and now I'm more refreshed, and I'm here with you guys. And thank you, by the way, for having me.
Yeah.
Uh, but I am fascinated by history,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm a firm believer that history is what we should use to guide us toward the future.
Um,
And you know,
Michelle's asking what the name of the channel is. It's Elder Medicine Bear Claw.
yes, I put it down.
Yeah.
Elder, medicine.
Yeah. Well, Michelle was wanting to know.
Okay,
Uh,
yeah, no problem.
yeah.
Yes,
Elder Medicine Bear Claw, and
I
her real name is Ramona.
okay. I'm gonna look into it tonight because I used to go to the powwows in Tahlequah
Hmm.
when I lived in Muskogee every year, and my best friend, he is Aaron. He is Cherokee, and he works at the casino up in Hard Rock Cafe in Tulsa. He works in there in the blackjack table. He's my friend since 2000. We've been friends, and that's where I met him at the powwow.
Hmm.
Very very cool person, and he teach me so much. And I go to the when I went to the powwows, I eat the food, and he knew that I was from Puerto Rico, and we have a great friendship. And I always go to the powwow, but I just heard about the hairy man, but never that I knew that it was Bigfoot. Never. I thought Bigfoot was a myth, like the other myth that now we look into it and they're not myth. They were real things.
Hmm.
They were happening. And somebody tried to turn around the things and deceive us, and
Hmm.
at the end, hey, listen, eventually everything that is in the dark comes into the light, friend.
Yep.
That's exactly what just happened. Everything.
Yep.
The alien, the Bigfoot, you name it, is coming out, friend, because,
Yep.
at some point the Lord is going to come back and he's going to claim what is his. That's just the bottom line.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who's the president. It doesn't matter. When it's time, it's time. And I looking forward to see my grandma because I am so grateful for what she teach me
Yep.
that I use it on a daily basis. Everything, man. Those things that I used to criticize her for is the same things that I'm doing now, like saving the plastic bags.
Mm-hmm.
I see my grandma with them plastic bag, and I was like, "Good Lord, lady!" Now I do the same.
Yeah.
Go figure, man. But she was so wise, and she feared the Lord. She
Yeah.
respected the Lord, and she teach me that. So it's what I'm. That's my goal to see my grandma again.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Whatever I have to do, I want to see her. I
Yep.
do it. And if that means surrendering my life and stop going to the clubs, stop drinking and driving, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I quit. I quit. So,
All right, Figgy. I got to get off here because we're at 11:15 Central. So
it
um,
was. It took more than I expected, but thank you, sir. Thank you. Have a
yeah.
good night, everybody.
Oh, it's been fun. It has.
Thank.
I enjoyed you being on here.
Thank
Um,
you.
we'll see you in one of the other lives, maybe. And
When
uh,
I come back, from Puerto Rico, I'm
yeah.
leaving. I'm
Okay.
leaving.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see you when you get back.
Yes. Thank
You'll
you.
tell us all about it.
Oh yeah, you bet. You bet.
All
Thank you. Thank you. Good night, everybody. God bless.
right. All right.
And thank you for having me in your home. Mi casa, tu casa.
Okay. All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. Yeah, it was a fun night. Um, I know it's late, um, and Christy's already gone to bed, so I gotta sign off here. Um, we'll see you, um, like I just told Figgy, on one of the next upcoming lives. Some of our friends, or we'll see you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock Central. So, y'all remember, be safe and keep squatching. Good night, everybody.
Whispers in the woods where shadows play. Legends come alive at the break of day. Footsteps echo loud, but no one's there. Bigfoot's lurking in the midnight air. Sovereign house beneath the moonlit gloom. Eyes that shine like fire in a room of doom. Poltergeist dancing, moving through the halls. Ancient secrets breaking through the walls. O.C.S.T. is more than a name. Bigfoot and stuff, it's a whole new game. Chasing the truth in a silent night. Empowered by the mystery, fueled by the fright. Cryptids in your mind, let your wonder grow. The hidden world is ours to know. From the forest deep to the attic's dust. Oh, O.C.S.T, we're learning to trust. Tracks in the snow where the brave won't tread. Hidden voices calling from the things we've read. The unknown things with a haunting sound. Empowering us as the tales go around. O.C.S.T, it's more than a name. Bigfoot and stuff, it's a whole new game. Chasing the truth in the silent night. Powered by the mystery, fueled by the flood. O.C.S.T, it's more than a name. Bigfoot and stuff, it's a whole new game. Chasing the truth in the silent night. Powered by the mystery,